How's it going out there, everyone? This is W.F.S, your doctor, and I just finished watching the Ben Shapiro versus the Critical Drinker Star Wars review. Rather, not a review, but a ranking of the films from A New Hope to the last three Star Wars desecration of the franchise, which I will not mention those movies because as far as I'm concerned, that's exactly what they were. They were a desecration of the films. In fact, the Critical Drinker and Ben Shapiro discuss Kathleen Kennedy, Star Wars, Disney, and the desecration that they did do to the films. My thoughts and comments on this video was, it was a lot of fun to watch. Listening to the two of them talk about the films and what they meant to each other, and how Disney has pretty much destroyed the IP and what possibly could be done about it. It's a lot of fun to watch this video. And for me, Ben Shapiro and Critical Drinker, I love them both. And when I found out that these two were doing a little bit of a ranking video together, I had to watch it because these are two people from different spectrums of the world. One's into politics and one's into film and television. What could possibly come from this? I had to know. So basically the whole point of the video was to get their takes, their rankings of the films from the best to the worst. And for the most part, they were on the same page. There's a couple of things that I'm going to disagree with them on, especially when it comes to the Return of the Jedi. Apparently, there's a lot of people out there who do not like Return of the Jedi for a specific reason. The Ewoks. I'm sorry. I was a teenager, a young teenager when I saw that movie, and I absolutely thought they were an important part of the movie. What I think did Return of the Jedi some disservice was when George Lucas in the 90s decided to tweak the films, edit them out, and add special effects. I honestly think he took away from those movies when he did that, because we all know why he did it. He wanted to get everyone ready for the prequels, which weren't the greatest in the world, but they were a hell of a lot better than what Disney shoved down our throats. Now, when it comes to Critical Drinker, I think almost everyone out there watches his videos just to hear one very important thing, his catchphrase that he always says.
The message.
Now, as I said before, I've listened to Ben Shapiro for quite a few years now, and I really don't have any problems with the man. He's controversial, and a lot of people can't stand his views, but I'm pretty much spot on with a lot of what he says. But regarding this video, it looked like the two of them just had a good time having a drink together and just reviewing the Star Wars films. It was a lot of fun to listen to and watch. I mean, these two looked like they were having a good time. Now, I absolutely have to say that one of my favorite parts of this video is, it's later on into it, but when Shapiro and Critical are having this good laugh, Ben asks the question, okay, so let's say you bought Star Wars right now. You just took it over from Disney and it's everything that's been done before. What's the first thing you would do?
What do you do? What moves do you make?
I would immediately resign and leave. It's unsalvageable at this point. I think probably the best way would be to decanonize the entire sequel trilogy and say everything that happened from Return of the Jedi onwards, it's we're starting fresh.
I think most people would agree with Critical Drinker that they need to decanonize everything that was done after Return of the Jedi. The prequels were okay. I mean, especially Revenge of the Sith. And Ben Shapiro was absolutely right regarding that film. He says the first half of the movie was all over the place, but by the second half, they found and this is not an exact word, it found itself, and it became an excellent movie to watch. Beyond that, Rogue One was definitely a good one. Loved Rogue One. But for the most part, everything that Disney has done is a disaster, and it needs to be forgotten. It really does need to be forgotten. The Solo story, again, they were both right on this subject. How do you make The Force Awakens, where they kill off one of the most famous characters in the most undignified way possible by his own son's hands, and then the next thing you know, you're coming out with a movie about the early years of Han Solo when we already know the future of this man? Disney just destroyed this IP with a smile on its face. Now, as for the rankings of the film, Bounding into Comic had an article on the interview, and they put up the list of each of them and what they thought the rating should be. So according to Shapiro, The Empire Strikes Back is number 1, being the best. 2 is New Hope. Rogue One is 3. Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, Solo, The Phantom Menace, The Rise of Skywalker, and The Force Awakens, and The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi, both of them I think agree, was a complete train wreck, showing total disregard for Luke Skywalker and the importance of this character. Now, the Critical Drinker, he had The Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, Rogue One, Attack of the Clones, Solo, The Phantom Menace, The Force Awakens, The Rise of Skywalker, and The Last Jedi. As you can see, both of them pretty much had the Disney films toward the bottom of this. And with good reason, because they both sucked. Disney products sucked. As I said at the beginning of the video, it was fun watching these two have their conversation about Star Wars. And I really would like to say that there's hope for this franchise, but as long as it's in the hands of Disney, I don't know if there's any chance of it coming back to life in a respectable way. Well, I'm going to end the video right here, my friends, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I really do hope you go look for the video of the Ben Shapiro versus Critical Drinker. It's a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it, and I think you would too. Until the next time, my friends, God bless.